Hey, welcome back again. You know how last episode we kind of spent the whole video trying to figure out the electrical wiring, and we did everything. We put the harness over, we cut it out, we spliced it in. Well, after that, I spent the next day I spent about half the day working on it. Couldn't figure anything out. Came back the next day, today, and I fixed it. Guess what it was? One fuse. So the alternator fuse blew back when we accidentally shorted the wiring. When we first plugged in the alternator for the 1JZ, I totally forgot about it. And I was doing research, I was trying to figure it out. I was like, all my grounds are good. I even sanded down all these. I didn't show you, but I sanded down all the grounds just to make sure they're good. And then turns out all I need to do is replace the alternator fuse. And then, would you look at this? First, open up the door. Oh, look at that. Key fob's lighting up. Got the light down there. Have the door open light. Stick the key in. Starts beeping. Turn the accessory on. Clock comes on. That's a plus. I don't know what's up with this still. That's one of those things down there that I think we can take care of that. Don't mind the beeping. Oh yeah, these door lights are on. The fan thing I think we could fix with some of the fuses on the other side. Let me shut the door. But then when we turn on the lights, I'm gonna put the hazards on too. What do you know, they work perfectly. Not perfectly. I gotta figure out wiring on that side. Not entirely sure what's up with that. But that's going. We even have the side signal. Not on this side. Where did the side signal go? One of them went. Anyway. With that, I'm going to make a list of all the parts I need to order. I got tax returns, thank goodness, so hopefully I'm going to try to get all the parts we need left for the car. I'm going to make a list for you guys, kind of do a walk around, see what needs to be left, what is left to get, and then hopefully we'll be able to order it, and then hopefully now I'm hoping electronics are done. They're not done. I take that back because we have, out of all this mess, we still need to do that one wire that gave power to the check engine light and that side of the fuse box. That side runs the whole interior, the fan system or whatever. So I'm gonna go ahead and set you guys down on the tripod as I go around, do a bunch of rounds of the car, check and see what else is left to get. Just a heads up as I'm doing this. The camera may down you partway through. Almost out of battery, almost out of memory, but I just finished editing a video today, so I have time to clear the SD card off. Alright, so I made that list of all the things that need to get done on the car, things I need to buy. I already bought a set of them. I went to THROTL and went ahead and bought the pieces that I need for the mid pipe, which are, I got a couple flanges, a flex pipe, and a resonator, so those will all be coming in, which is fantastic. Awesome service, by the way. There's a reason that I'm an ambassador for them, so check the link below if you want to do. There we go, there's my plug for the day. But anyway, I got that checked off. Next thing I want to tackle is this headlight. If you noticed, I think I may have quickly mentioned that it's not coming up all the way or not going down. It only goes up once. The issue is that when I was messing with the power steering line way back when, the power steering cooler comes up here, and so I'll show you like an example right here. So they should be top and bottom, and see how these ones kind of came to the side. Well, the same thing happened in there. You can kind of see those two pipes should be right on top of each other, and one's bent in the way of this. So what's going to happen is I'm going to open up the headlight, pull that up open, take off the casing again, see if I can get the pipe straightened out and bolted up. There is a bolt mount for it to make sure that doesn't happen. I'd just taken it off when I was working with the engine and moving things out of the way for the intercooler and stuff back then. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and open it up and see if I can get that fixed. Alright, the headlight's all taken care of. That's a big plus. I got that checked off the list. Just had to bolt it up and then just move the pipe around. Wasn't a big deal. Took longer than I really needed to, kind of just because of the bolts. But anyway, I'm going to show out. Next thing we're working on is I want to make sure we have all these little things all tightened up. So I'm kind of doing the small things, checking them off the list today because I know I'll totally forget them if I put them off. So what we're doing next is tightening up the bolts on this front cover as well as the front cowl. Tightening up the bolts on the front bumper, the ones we can get to, and then probably putting on the mud flaps on the rear if I can find both of them, and then putting on the front what's it called thing. I can't remember the name of it, but I'm gonna do whatever it is called. So that's the plan for that. I'm gonna go ahead and just set you guys down. We'll kind of just get a view of me working on the front, and then that'll be good. All right, we got the front all buttoned up. Looks like I'd already tightened up the front bumper, which is great, so I don't have to take care of that. Big plus there. Next up, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to tackle some of the interior. So I have some trim pieces that I'd painted blue way back when the car was blue. And I'm going to go ahead and respray those red. So I'm going to go ahead and pull those out for you, and then we're going to give them a rundown of some red paint. All right, I believe I got most, if not all, the pieces out. So the way it's going to go is all these pieces with blue on them, like these ones, door trims, the steering wheel hub, and then the quick release section. Those are all going to be painted red. The other trims I had just taken off when I was working on the car, and I'm going to go ahead and paint those black because I've been slowly painting the other trim black. So I'm just going to go ahead and knock those out, and then get them black with I'm going to use the high temp paint because that comes off as a more matte finish, which makes it look more OEM and not as much as, hey, I hit it with spray paint. So I'm going to go ahead and hit everything with at least 600 grit. I may hit this one with a little more just because some of the paint was peeling. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and hit them with that, and then go ahead and prime them, and then go right into spraying. So it'll be a lot of just, I'll set you guys up and enjoy the show. Alright, those pieces are all done now. Something turned out where this has a little texture. I don't know how well you could see it. I think I just didn't sand it down well enough to start with. So, because it doesn't look, it's not contamination type. Like there's not like little pools. It kind of looks like it just didn't set in correctly. But I'm not too upset. I'm not going to respray it. Reason being is that with this cracked surface, it actually somewhat matches the texture that's already on there. So if you see a little texture there, a little there, it works, and the pure gloss actually just looks a little weird inside the car. So next thing up, I actually have a little carbon fiber goodie to put on. It's not going to save any weight at all, but it's going to look really cool. This is all it is. All I'm doing is just putting it right over there. It's about as simple as it gets. I just think it looks dope. So yep, I'm doing it. That's all it is. Some of you may not like it. I like it, so I'm putting it on my car. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to put some of these back. Some of these trim, these ones right here. Not going to worry about these yet because I'm still working with stuff around the column area, and I still have more work to do here. Some switches that are coming in, and then also I'm going to try to get the ECU from here to in there. Just going to try to get that a little more safe so I don't have to have it mounted in the engine bay. Anyway, that's the plan for that. I'll meet up with you guys in just a bit. Alright, I have some of that interior trim in, just some of these red parts here. One on the other side. Yep, there's a little carbon fiber goodie. The rest is just sitting on top right now. I haven't been able to paint the center hub for the steering wheel. It's still blue because I don't have the tape right now. I can't find my painter's tape. But next thing on the list is I'm going to put on the mud flaps for the rear. They're just little things that go tucking right under here. It'll help protect and not splash as much mud up into the bumper as they're meant for. But right now I just have them soaking in some degreaser. I'm going to go ahead and wipe them off and then throw them under. I have the battery tray as well because that's just a mess. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe those off and we'll get those on. Alright, so the mud flaps didn't work. You saw me messing around with those a little bit. What happened is just I don't have the right thread of a screw to get in there. I don't know where one's at off the top of my head. And it's just a little crowded to work in there, so I'm just going to put that off until I need to raise the car up again, which will be when I need to put the brake fluid back in. But in the meantime, I started wiring up the fans and realized I totally forgot to turn the camera on. All I did is I'm just test wiring, making sure they're working. And so I have power and ground right here, have the ground going there. I just looped the power wire all the way around. So what happens is when we put the battery terminal on, just like that, we hear the fan come on. So I'm waiting on a couple switches to come in. I think I mentioned that briefly earlier. What we're going to do is we're going to replace these switches right here. The defogger is going to stay. I may move it over one. Then I'm going to have, or at least, actually I don't know if I'm going to move it over one. But what I'm going to do is with these switches, I'm going to take these two out, the cruise and the fog lights, because I neither have fog lights or cruise control, and I don't need them, frankly. But I'm going to put into airplane style switches. That'll control the fuel pump and the fans. So the fuel pump is because sometimes when I just turn the key to on, but don't actually like turn the car on, like crank it, it won't turn back off. So I'm just gonna have a switch just to control it so I can make sure it stays off. And then secondly, for the fans, it's just so I can have an electronic switch on and off for the fans, because when I get on the freeway I can just turn them off. When I'm driving around the city in the summer I could turn them on. So that'll be good. I know a lot of people often want to say, we're gonna leave something about why don't you just stay with a clutch fan. Mainly it's for space. I know there's probably a way to fit it in, but those ones also came with the thing, so I'm just gonna put them on and keep them on, which is no big deal for me. There's probably some electronic way to wire it up. This way is gonna work, guys. It's gonna work. So anyway, that's the deal with that. I'm gonna go ahead and start to get the wiring connected and then plumb it up towards this area. I do need to drill out an area to get the wiring because I do want to get the ECU back in the engine bay. So I'm going to start working on that, planning that out. I'm not going to film it because, actually I may film the wiring for the fans, but aside from that I'm not going to film anything about trying to get the ECU in yet because it's mostly just research at the moment. So I'll catch you guys up in just a bit. Let's go ahead and wire up the fans. Alright, we have mission accomplished with the fans. I know you heard them turn on right there. The reason I have such long wires right here and not shorten them up and kind of just threw everything everywhere is because once again these are going to a switch that's in there. So I just needed to test them, made sure they're long enough to run in there, but needed to test them just by touching them together right here. So anyway, that's that for that. Wow, that's a lot of that's. I'm going to go ahead and clean up the wires a little bit. And go ahead and just tidy it up so that way it doesn't look as ugly and is a little more safe, so that way nothing's just like flailing around. So anyway, that's my next step. I'm just going to go ahead and clean it up and then catch up back with you guys. Alright, I got the wiring all cleaned up, or for the most part cleaned up. So I have these two plugs here. I electrical taped around the connections so they're not going to short each other out. One ground's going right up here where another ground is as well. The power wire comes under the front, traces down under the radiator, comes up to the front of the bar here, runs underneath, zip tied to the other wiring loom, comes out on this side. There's a little bundle here because I had a bit of extra wire. Not going to be an issue. I just didn't want to cut it. The wires from this fan come up here. They plug into that connection right there. Again, same electrical tape deal as the other side, so they're not going to short themselves out. The power wire runs around the back here, still connected to the loom. And this is where I stopped worrying about it, because since I still have this whole entire mess to shove through into the firewall, I'm just leaving it there. Then the ground comes up to right here. Comes up here. I just had a bit extra wire, which why I didn't cut it there, and it'll work right there. Plus, I'm gonna probably move a lot of these. That's the next project to tackle. So next thing to do is just try that it works, and then that'll probably be it for today. Alright if we touch these two wires together, we should hear it turn on. Again, I'm waiting for a switch to come in before I wire these permanently. So here we go. That works. Didn't want to hold it too long because it's cold in here, and these fans work. And so even here I'm starting to get a lot of air blown into me. So anyway, that's a really good sign. Good deal, good deal. Alright, so that's going to be it for today. Got a lot of things checked off the list. Got the interior painted and the fans finished up. Or not finished up, but wired up. So those are two big steps coming up. I still have a lot of parts coming through on the way. I have a heater relay coming in, or a heater fan relay, which should fix the fans, because I believe this went out last time. Being 32 years old, they're not the most reliable things. What else is going to happen? We're coming in. Exhaust parts are on the way. The switches are on the way. And then I forgot to order a radiator hose, just the one that goes from here. So I'm going to go ahead and order that now as I go in and clear out the SD card and get ready for the next video. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. You know what to do. Dislike, unsubscribe, hate in the comments, guys. Bye.